Hey everyone, Tiffany Newman here, your legacy brand strategist. And today's brand reveal is with the amazing Nina Froriep. And we are here talking about video. So you guys are going to learn all about her amazing company. Nina is a vlog strategist, creative educator, visual storyteller, forward thinker, enabler, and video democratizer. So, Nina, thank you so much for being here with me today.
I am super excited to be here.
Yay. And I was reading directly from her brand manual, which we are going to dive into in a little bit. So, and we're going to reveal her updated logos and just really dive in. So, if for those of you who are joining us and have not seen, every day this week, I'm going live with the wonderful clients of mine that just graduated from the legacy brand transformation. And I'm really looking at, bringing some levity to what's going on. We're seeing so much news that is not fun to watch. These women and myself have worked really hard for the past 3 months on their brands. And so I really want to shine a spotlight on each and every one of them and what they're doing in their business to keep momentum going and just their brilliance in general. So, Nina, if you want to, I kind of gave a quick introduction there, but if you want to tell us a little bit more about your background, you have an amazing background in the video space, and then just talk a little bit about why you wanted to work on your brand.
I've been in the film business in one shape, form, or the other for longer than I care to admit, but let's say it's more than 25 years. And I've had my company for 22 years. We started off as a production service company helping Europeans that came to New York with their shoots, and that fell flat after 9/11. And then, I started servicing American clients, and still everything I did was either documentary or really big corporate gigs. And, I've worked on Fortune 500 companies. I've had, $1 million budgets under me. So, it was just it was a big industry with a lot of work and a lot of money floating around. And that worked really well. And, even having a brand, such thing as a brand was kind of like even like a luxury because work just came.
Mm.
And about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I saw the writing on the wall. Things were changing rapidly. People had their own phones to shoot with, or prosumer cameras that were fairly inexpensive. Editing software became very cheap. So that whole wall that we used to have, where
Mm.
just by the fact that we had equipment and we knew how to use it, and we had invested these hundreds of thousands of dollars in the equipment, we had work, period. But once that wall fell and video was being democratized, hence one of my many titles, everybody had access. And, for a lot of people, that was very threatening, and fully admit to me as well. But I also saw it as a great opportunity to pivot or to shift what I was doing and be less of the producer who handled everything, and everything was a little smoke and mirrors, and you did what you did with the budget, etc., to just being completely open book and saying, okay, this is how it works. I can help you get there without driving yourself nuts and without breaking your piggy bank. And then quickly I started focusing on small businesses, such as, my kind of people, rather than the big corporations. And I just really, really loved doing that because it just felt so much more, I don't want to use the word honest, but it felt real, much more
Mm.
real. And I just realized I love guiding people, telling them what to do. That's the producer in me. And just being, sleeves rolled up and mano a mano in the trenches, helping people out. And I really, really just love that. And since we've gone through these many different versions of Clockwise, my company, I have a website, it's serviceable. I have a unified look across all my brand, my social media brands, but I'm not in love with it. It's not like I go on LinkedIn, go like, hey, so cool. I go on LinkedIn, I go like, yeah, it's serviceable. The colors are there, the logo is there, my picture's there, but it's like, meh. and it doesn't speak to what I do anymore today.
Mm,
The images, I've been using the same images for a very long time because I believe in visual branding very strongly because I'm a visual person.
right.
But it's outdated, it's old, it's been repaired, fixed, redone, facelifted, and there's so much lipstick you can put on a pig until there's just lipstick and no more pig. So um,
That's a good
so
way to say it.
yeah, so when a friend of mine, I was in Switzerland, where I'm from originally, at Christmas, said to me, there, I was telling her I desperately need a website, a new website. And she's like, "Oh, you have to talk to Tiffany."
Oh,
So that was
yes,
so
thank
good.
you, Nina. Shout out to Nina. I
Shout
mean,
out
not
to
Nina. It's okay. You are Nina.
Silke Wolf. Yep, Silke Wolf was the catalyst,
Yes.
and I can't thank her enough either. So,
Mm,
and then when I talked to you, it was just like it was a total no brainer, a complete no brainer.
awesome. Well, thank you. And it's been such a pleasure and an honor working with you. I mean, you are, like you said, you've been in the industry for so long and you saw that coming. I think it's just what brilliant entrepreneurs do. And a lot of us, we're dealing with that right now. You know, things are changing day by day and quickly, and we're pivoting. And so I think not only are we going to walk through, your brand manual and everything, but I think vlogging and what you're teaching now is
Mhm.
so important right now because we are already digital, obviously, but right now it's really important for entrepreneurs to step into this space, and video, as far as content is concerned, video is king, and it has been for a while, but I think we're even moving further in that direction now that, especially, we're all quarantined right now. When this video is being recorded, um, it's really, really important, like, to be able to speak our messages out. It's really the only way to get our messages out right now, if we're
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, there's obviously other mediums, but I think if you really want to connect with your audience and you want to, and that's why I focus on service-based providers. Because if you have a bake shop or you have a bike store or, a dog parlor, whatever it is you have, if you're brick and mortar, I mean, right now you're up Schitt's Creek, pardon my French, but in general, you have innately something to show for it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have images, you can do video very easily and quickly. But if you are a service provider and there is 10,000 accountants in the city of New York, how do you set yourself apart other than maybe focusing on XYZ industry? Um, Video is an amazing tool because you are showcasing yourself because as a service provider, you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
And so with video, I mean, for me, it's just a total no-brainer. Now, obviously, I'm biased, but it's a total no-brainer that if you are a service provider, you need to be on video. And what I'm hoping with the quarantine, what is happening is that people get over that fear of being on camera, or get some facility with it, get some getting used to seeing themselves on camera. I remember that was for me a really big stumbling block. You're not,
Same here.
when I started doing video and being in front of the camera, I was already 50. And I remember after my first shoot, I ran to the beauty parlor down the block from me and bought a 10 pack for facials. And I'd never had a facial in my life before, but it was just like such a jarring experience. And by now it's like, yeah, whatever, make sure you look decent, but whatever, it's a message that counts.
It so is. And I think anyone and everyone, no matter who you are, can get caught up in that. But it is so important to take that leap if you really want to get your message out there and serve
Yeah.
people. So on that note, I would love to dive right in. And first, we're going to go through your brand manuals.
Mhm.
So I've been saying this on every brand reveal that I do, but I will say it again, that really it's the foundational pieces when we're creating a legacy brand, because so often people will just go on Fiverr and, oh, I'll get a logo in my colors, which is why they never fall in love with their brand, because they're not doing this foundational work. So we're going to walk through the importance of that. And then we will reveal the visual parts, which are the fun parts. And also, I just want to say hello to everybody who's watching. I know we have some people joining us, and unfortunately I cannot see at the moment, but I know Carolina was planning on joining us, and Silke, and so whoever's there live and on the replay, please say hello, please give us shout outs, and please ask any questions you may have. We'll hop back on afterwards and fill you in. So the other thing that I want to say before we hop into this, like Nina said, that her business, she's been in business for a long time, and her business name is Clockwise. So we've actually, the strategy with Nina is to have a personal thought leader brand, which is the Nina Froriep brand. So she has her own website under her name, really positioning her as a thought leader. And then she has the Clockwise Productions website, which really is her business website. So each person that I work with, a lot of times you are your brand. Like I have TiffanyNewman.com. That's it. Like it's that. But because Nina has a team and she has a partner that she works with, we've kind of separated those two, which also helps sometimes because Nina, you know, with your legacy brand, you said you may have some other projects that you may want in the future just for yourself. So that's positioning her for the future. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so everybody can see the brand manual. Can you see that okay, Nina?
Yep, I see it perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Oh, actually it says it stopped sharing. What?
Yeah, just.
Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so this is the manual. And basically the first thing that we always dive into, which I've had, you know, on all of these reveals, it's really important that you first get clear on your values. And most people, again, say, I always hear the same things: integrity, you know, service, and those can be anybody's values. So I would just love for you to, first of all, talk about your values and why it was, why this was an important part of the process.
Well, first of all, as you said, I think when you come from your values, they then, you know, sort of weave themselves through everything you do. So yeah, it is the roots. It's really the roots of your business, and I think that is hugely important. And it also keeps it's like an accountability check, because the way we want to be is one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually live it in your day to day. And I think that is what the brand values do. Did you want me to talk about mine specific or just in general?
Yeah, in general, and if you want to touch on any specifically or any ahas that you had in the process. I know that you kind of had these with your partner already, but I think that from working with you, I think it, like you said, you were able to really focus on them and weave them through.
Yeah, and I think what it did, it also, you know, Robin and I never actually talked about it. It was just something that we knew we agreed on. We also did the same personal development course. That's how we met, which was really intense for 8 months. So we already had sort of this base of a belief system that we shared, but putting it in writing and adding on things like, you know, laughter and fun and lightness in all interactions, you know, and that is something I need to hear regularly, because I tend to get very serious sometimes and forget that this is not brain surgery. No, this is.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. You know, we're also supposed to keep this light and fun for ourselves and for our clients.
Yes.
So, and then things like, you know, abundance begets abundance. To me, that is, I live by that, and I want to share that with my clients. So this is also a good reminder that just because I live by it and it's really important to me, doesn't mean that I'm necessarily, I hope I'm living it and showing it by living it. But I think also sometimes you just have to say it out loud. And so I think that's what the core values do, is they just put something that we take for granted and shows it to the world, basically.
Absolutely. And helps you make decisions. I think a lot of times, you know, when entrepreneurs are serving and people are saying, okay, I want to join your program, I want to give you money. It's also good when you're hiring and when you're deciding to work with clients. If they don't match your values, then it's probably not a good fit. And it can be scary to say, I'm sorry, I don't think we're a good fit to people, but it's really not going to be in service of either party if your values don't match. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, in 22 years of having had a business, I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
Yes. And then onto the vision, mission, and big idea. The vision is really, you know, sacred to you. The mission is really, I think the mission, a lot of times people think of big corporations, oh, they need a mission, but I'm just myself or a small business. I don't really need a mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think it's super important. So yours is to enable and empower service-based and mission-driven entrepreneurs to create massive impact and a sustainable income through the power of consistent and continuous video. And it just makes what you're doing so clear. Obviously, you already knew what you're doing, but that and the big ideas together, how do you feel about having those in place as it pertains to, just talking about the work succinctly?
I think on a very practical level, like we're just putting together a landing page for a launch of our signature service.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm as I'm going through it, and I have help writing it. Somebody says like, we help small businesses. I'm like, no, we empower service-based, mission-driven entrepreneurs. It just always brings me back to where I want to be and what I want my language to be, because I feel that whatever we say and also write, it goes out into the world and it doesn't go unnoticed. And if we're not careful with how we choose our words, it won't come, it won't come back to us the way we want it to come back to us. So having those words and sort of it, and it's not even that, sticking with the script come hell and high water. It's more that there's just a sense of, again, I think it's similar to the values. It's just a root system further up towards the light, but it's still a root system. It's still something that we believe in and that we want to uphold, and that's why it's important to have somewhere. And if you share this with a writer or copywriter, with really anybody, it also it helps them to create content for you or with you.
Right. Yeah. I remember when you said you shared this with your copywriter and how easy it was to build that out, the landing page out, because everything was pretty much laid out. And the thing is, it keeps that consistency throughout everything that you're doing, the website, landing pages, your content. If you're, it's sometimes feels silly to keep repeating ourselves, but really that's what makes you an expert, is that you can stick to your message and be consistent, and then, actually provide accordingly.
Yeah. No, and it's really important because I see that also in the groups I'm in. If it's not like you want to be known for 50,000 things, because people can't remember 50,000 things. So if you're the gal that helps service-based entrepreneurs with their video needs, that's who you are, so it just kind of makes it also easier for other people to talk about you or refer you or recommend you to someone else. So it serves everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. So we'll go through the rest of this fairly quickly, just so people waiting can see the fun part, which is the brand reveal visual. But we did, go through your target market, get really clear on who these people are, the brand story. So especially what your customers really want, which is a partnership, a guide to help them through the video process, that sustainability. They want to create their legacy, and they want to be confident when they show up on video.
Yeah.
Then we go through all of the brand story, which I'm not going to spend a ton of time on. Plus, it's kind of my secret sauce, so I don't want to give too much away. But I'll end here with kind of the encapsulation that we developed. Again, it's a co-creation process. I really see myself as a mirror to reflect back to my clients, and then we really hone in on what that final piece is. So I'll let you explain this final piece before we go into revealing the logos.
So basically, we were just coming up with something that, so I think the clockwise solution, first of all, let me backtrack. We started with an old tagline that I had, which was Swiss by Design, Savvy by New York. And then I had, for my personal website, the tagline, Attitude by Nina. So we felt that attitude might be a little too strong, and it was fine when I was probably, a little younger and still in the film, in a film business setting. So we came up with Swiss by Design, Savvy by New York, and Solutions by Nina. And then it was just a small hop from Solutions by Nina to Clockwise Solutions, or the Clockwise Solution. because that ties the two of them together. So that makes perfect sense. And then, we were talking about a lot. I talk a lot about community. I talk a lot about consistency and continuous content. So we were sort of on the C's, and then the clockwise. This is starts with a C, and clear communication. Clear communication is obviously paramount and very important.
Mm.
And the confidence piece came from talking about how people are nervous to be online, on camera. They hate seeing themselves on camera. And I just had started a Facebook group called Video with Confidence. I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So this is really going to be video with consistency, with clarity, with confidence, and with community. And to me, those four are just so incredibly perfect. And I've been using them in everything I write and say right now because I just love it.
Yay. Yeah, it was so fun to see. We have these discussions, and everything I do is interview style. I don't do intake forms and things like that necessarily because,
super easy.
as I always say, you can't see the label inside the bottle. And so I really help to pull it out of people. So it was so fun to like talk through it all. And then all of a sudden it just became very, very clear, and really, really coherent what that answer was. So then to go into the next phase, which is once we get those foundations all in place, is obviously the visual piece. So I'll go ahead and share that.
I'm so excited.
So we can do a drum roll. And let's see.
I mean, I tell you, while you do that, I have to tell you, I mean, that's what I signed up for. But then when I got the brand manual, at first I was like, And now that I'm actually using it, it's like,
that's what I keep saying. It's not the sexy thing.
No,
but it's actually
an amazing thing.
It is. And I wish I'm really trying to get people to understand that it's just as or more important in the end.
It's much more important because it's a foundation of everything else. I mean, you can always change a logo or color, but a brand manual would not live without one anymore.
Oh, it's awesome to hear that. All right, so let's dive right in. This is your brand and style guide. So here we have the final logo, which was a take. I'm calling this your legacy logo because, again, you've been in business over 20 years and you had a similar logo in the past. So when we look at a brand and the legacy brand, sometimes we actually keep parts of what's been working in the past. And because you've been around so long, we didn't want to completely reinvent the wheel visually. Like you said, it's really the messaging that's been helping. But we want to just upgrade everything that you have. And then when we're done with this process, now you have all this foundational piece. We'll be going into the website. We're going to update all of that accordingly. So this is kind of the upgraded version of the logo. And basically, like we said, we took all of the piece parts of the brand. So you have the storytelling, the strategy, and ultimately the solutions that you're providing, that community, consistency, clarity, and confidence, and then all of the brand descriptors that you're providing to your clients, which all kind of correlate together into your final logo. All right. Cool. And you can see a little preview of the brand colors there as well. So this is the main brand logo. Again, just really clean, modern, upgraded version. And then here we have all of your sub logos. So as we discussed, and you have not seen these before, we really have, the 3 levels of service that we discussed. And I would love to hear a little bit from you because I know that you were pretty much working with people one-on-one and you really wanted to take that into a group format. You also wanted to create more of a community around it. So we've developed what's called Clockwise Community, which is like the lower level big community, Clockwise Cohort when you're working people on a group level, and then Clockwise Creation when you're working with them one-on-one and how you're helping them actually do all the editing and everything. And then the Nina is your actual scripted handwritten signature, which will be your personal brand logo.
Awesome.
So I'll let you speak to that. I would love to have people hear a little bit more about, the community cohort and creation, how that all came about when we were working together as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, community, I've been talking about community forever, but also was never quite sure how to start with it, or you've got to start somewhere. That became clear throughout the last couple of months as well. And then, so the creation part is what I already had, which is working with clients one-on-one, guiding them through the video marketing process, to create their first series or first season of a what I call a vlog cast. So basically, a continuous vlog, because for me it's all about being consistent with your video marketing, because if you're not, then you're basically putting a lot of effort into a random video here and there, and you don't really see any benefit. So
Absolutely.
if you want to invest in video marketing, you have to be consistent. You have to put out video on a regular schedule, much like podcasters do it. So that's why I'm calling it the vlog cast, to kind of create that connection. And then when I actually started or heard and talked to Tiffany for the first time about, and I've been looking for I wanted to do what I was doing with the one-on-one clients in a group setting. And I was like playing with all these different formats and how I was going to do it. And I wasn't sure. And I wasn't sure whether people wanted to share everything in the group setting and blah, blah, blah. And then when I was on the phone with Tiffany and she told me about, the legacy brand rebranding program or cohort, when I hung up, I was like, this is it. This is it. This is exactly what I need to do. And for me, the group dynamic in a small group where you actually work together for a certain amount of time, and where you share a common goal and a common process. I think that's hugely powerful. And also it actually creates synergies between small entrepreneurs or small business owners. There's group learning, there's group feedback. I mean, there's so many benefits. It's unbelievable. And then from that, the community then all of a sudden becomes a very attainable just next step, because you have these different cohorts. I have since implemented another group situation, where I hold video challenges, monthly long video challenges. So all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I have all these people I'm now funneling into my community, and boom, there is my community. So yeah, it was a really, but all of this was the catalyst for all of this was the work that I was doing with you, Tiffany, because it reconnected me in a actionable way to what it is that I want to do and what I stand for and what I want my future to be, and Robin's and my future to be. And, I knew what I wanted. I just did not have, I didn't have the tools, or I didn't know how to go about it, A, and B. And that's why I do these video challenges now. Sometimes you just need a kick in the butt in the right direction, to get
I'm
yourself.
good at that. Giving
Yeah,
people a
yeah.
little kick in the butt.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you did, and it was the right direction.
In a nice way.
In a and I must say, just to before I forget it, you also said like you don't have any intake forms and all that. The course was so easy that at moments I actually worried whether this was going to amount to anything much. And if it hadn't been, for Silke's testimonial and having seen the outcome from other clients you've had, I would have probably doubted it, but I knew I was in good hands. But I love the ease and your skill in interviewing us, or me. I can only speak about myself, but how you interviewed me, how you got the information out of me, how easy it was, and yet so profound.
Thank you for sharing that. It's been, even as a brand strategist, that's the one piece of my own business that's hard to describe, because I say I promise people it's literally like an hour per week. There's no homework. I mean, other than thinking, right? And people are just like, people are used to courses where they have to take all these modules and do all this work and do that. And in this case, although I am offering a beta, which I'm going to talk about at the end here, which is a little bit more work on other people's ends, but there really isn't the work to do. And like you said, people get really uneasy in the middle of it. Like, how is anything going to come out of this? But that's where I get to be a magician.
Yes, yes. A magician and miracle worker for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And you guys definitely, if you need any video help, any video strategy, you need to start following Nina. The best place for her, where she really hangs out, is on LinkedIn. Yep. Which, just watching her on LinkedIn, I'm like, I need to get back on LinkedIn. It's really booming. And the way that they've changed the structure of LinkedIn, I feel like it's much more social than it used to be.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So definitely check out Nina there, but she's on Facebook as well. And then if you want to talk a little bit about what you're up to next, as far as the cohort that's starting or the video challenges, let people know how they can reach out to you about that.
Yep. So since my website is being completely revamped, I mean, I have some landing pages, but they're just placeholders. So LinkedIn is a great place to get a hold of me. I live on LinkedIn basically. So LinkedIn messaging, befriend me or connect with me. If we don't know each other, just refer to Tiffany and this live. And I also offer a half-hour free consultation. And I really try to make it a consultation, help you with your video setup at home or in your office or whatever it is, and not make it a sales call, but actually something where you walk away with real value at the end, and you having learned something that is applicable to you personally. And then with the new website, it'll all be even more magical. And
we'll have to do another reveal when that is completed.
Yes, gladly so. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm running video challenges. I'm starting the next one May 1st. And so DM me about that if you're interested. It's a guided challenge. So we have weekly check-in calls. I keep the group small, but big enough that there is some synergies that can happen between you and your cohort members. You're not only posting daily, you're also meant to comment on everybody else's videos and engage, because you don't want to post the videos, you also want to get the engagement. And the weekly support calls are to answer questions and to see how everybody else is doing. I also have a guided version where I actually give you daily feedback and help you with your actual videos. And then the other thing is I have this cohort, which is similar to what Tiffany has been doing with us. I've made some changes to it that I think are necessary to make it work for video. And that also starts in May 7th. And that will be a 9-week program. And at the end of it, you will have your first full season of videos of your custom branded, your voice vlogcast.
Awesome. So everybody, check out Nina, make sure you do that. And especially if you've been thinking about video and really making that work online for you. And if you're interested in the branding piece, obviously my next cohort is starting in April. I know there's a lot going on in the world, but I'm moving forward because there are a lot of people who want to actually invest in their brand and reworking it while they have a little bit more downtime. And I'm also starting a beta group for those people who want to just really work on the brand foundation pieces. So it's a lower investment, a much lower investment. And we can talk about that if you just want to give me a shout out, DM me. I don't have any fancy landing pages either because things are shifting so quickly. This is a new beta group that I've developed. So whatever, if you want to do video and branding, then you can reach out to us both.
That would actually be the ideal. That would be the ideal.
I know, now that I said that, I'm like, actually, that would make a lot of sense to put your new brand and video at the same time. So anyways, everybody, thank you for joining us. We went a little bit long today, but I think it was really, really good for you to see just the foundational pieces, the visual elements, and something different. A lot of people are newer in business and it's a new brand, but Nina's been around and, you know, had iterations of this business. So it was really, really fun to her to create that legacy brand, and she won't have to play with it anymore. Like it's done now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Which will save me probably oodles and oodles of time in the long run too.
yes, very good point.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for those of you who joined us. Nina, again, thank you so much. It's been such a
Thank you
pleasure
so much.
working together. Yes. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the next brand reveal. Take
Yay.
care.
Bye. Thank you.